any symbols, it won't show anything. Okay. So I'm just waited for us 2-3 members may join, but we'll see. This is about a iSCSI. Already we know what is a SCSI means. We know already what is a SCSI means. So SCSI is simple small computer system interface. SCSI is mounted directly on your server motherboard. So you take a server, you put a SCSI adapter. Okay, depends upon your SCSI adapter. So you can connect devices internally as well as externally direct to the server. Okay, so if you have a data or a databases or anything like you have a any data thing is there, so you can access through the server and server operating system only. So again, I'm telling what it is. You can access through server only, right? It is a directly depends upon server. Server is connected to the network. Server is connected to the network. Okay, but you even you want to access the data to the network like that, even though multiple steps is there, no? The server through server you are putting a data means through your server operating system, server permissions, so many things are there. Okay, so SCSI disks are dedicatedly connected to your physical system. Okay, so general. So what is this iSCSI? iSCSI is like a NAS type of thing only, or a SAN type of thing. Using iSCSI, you can achieve block level storage and SAN level storage also. Okay, so what are these things? You can see. Look at here. This is my storage bay. It means it contains a disk. It is a iSCSI box, just like I showed. Just like how I show your storage related one. Okay, sorry. Okay, so NAS boxes I showed, right? So same thing. It is a box contains a disk and it is connected to the network. Okay, I connected to the disk and I connected this box to the network. So directly we can able to connect it. These are the contents a disk only. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I have a server. This is iSCSI target server. Target server it is. So to manage iSCSI storages, this is a server, normal Windows server or Linux server. So we install iSCSI related that one. So this is my client. So client means either it is a Windows 10 or some server, some client is there. It is also connected to the network. So just for our understanding, I am putting name of the server is name of the machine is S1. Okay, look at this guys. So this machine having their own internal hard disk and all, so that's okay. But look at here, what I'm trying to say is here server having a request, server having a, so means in this one there is a request. So what is the request is like this. He wanted in this one wanted a disk storage like a block level storage, same concept only. It is, for example, 100 GB disk space is required. Okay, it's unable to see. Okay, so we'll put it 100 GB disk space is required somewhere. 100 GB disk space is required for this server. So I'm working on this machine. So I need a 100 GB disk space. So I will contact my administrator. The administrator, what he will do, he will create a 100 GB space. Okay, already we discussed this one, right? So this is called a LUN. He created a 100 GB disk space, and he will tell in this machine, it's a list is there. He will tell this particular 100 GB virtual hard disk. It is actually they create a virtual hard disk in a Microsoft way. We can say it is a LUN or a virtual hard disk. So this 100 GB access permission to S1 only, okay, or multiple devices like that we can able to do it. So I will tell list of access permissions by the name S1 or S1's MAC address, S1 IP address, or S1 IQN number. Okay, IQN address or a number. Okay, S1 IQN number. So S1 name. So in this list, in the iSCSI target server, in the iSCSI target server, so I will tell this disk is for S1 by name, by MAC address, by S1 server MAC address, S1 machine MAC address, S1's IP address, or S1 IQN number. Okay, it's a unique number. So this is the good one. So to give IQN number. Again, name means always FQDN. Okay, fully qualified domain name. It required a compulsory DNS server is required. You are communicating with the names means you need a DNS server. So compulsory required. So what is your target server? Target server, create a target. Okay, create a target. This is the target. So they'll give a target name. Okay, so for example, this is a target one. My target name is target one. Okay, target name is target one, 100 GB disk. Target name is target one. Otherwise, I will write here. Okay, target name is target one. Target name is target one, and target one is currently 100 GB disk. Okay, 100 GB disk. Target one is 100 GB disk. Target one is 100 GB disk. Target name is target one. Okay, 100 GB disk. Access for server S1 by name or FQDN or a MAC address or a IP address or a IQN number. So I will assign based on that one. Next, user access also there now. So I will give which type of user or a group can able to access. Which user or a group can able to access this particular target. Okay. So this is the thing I will create from the target server. So what is the target? Target meaning is what are the hard disk are there? What a disk I am using. Okay. In the target name, we'll put a disk, different type of disk, to whom you are giving. Two things, guys. One is disk and to whom you are giving. Authenticated by user, allowed to access to user or a group, which machine you are assigning. So this is the how iSCSI target server will works. Very simple. It is a storage bay. It is connected directly to the network. Okay. This is the iSCSI target server. Will maintain the storage in the storage bay. Okay. If you need any disk space, so iSCSI target server will create the targets in the storage and assign storage requirement and to whom it should be accessed. Next, what will happen now? So what will happen? So we'll take another one. We'll see. Now request is completed. Now access. Now access. So from the client side. So in the server, if this is our server configurations. This is client configuration. I'm writing S1. At S1. At S1. Okay. At S1, what we are doing, we open iSCSI. We open iSCSI initiator. iSCSI initiator. We open iSCSI initiator. And then in that one, we give our target name. Our target name is target1. Or we can give target server name. Target server IP address or a name. We'll give. Name means FQDN. Or a domain name wise also we can able to access. Name or a server name or a server's FQDNs. Also both will work. Server name, server IP address, server FQDN we can give. So we can give a target name or a target server FQDN. But we don't have that much of facilities are there. So we'll directly we can do it. So at the server we'll do it. So when you done that one, so what will happen again, guys? Request go to target server. Target server verify your authentication. So are there and okay. So it will check your based on S1. So I'm requesting I'm a S1 or I'm asking target one. So it is verify S1 is assigned to target one and give this disk to S1. Understand? The request is like this. Okay. The client open the iSCSI initiator in the system. Okay. And request to the target server. The target server check the what is the request like from where I get this request from S1 by the name or a MAC address or IP address of S1. Target server understand request from S1. So the request as per the request S1 is assigned to access target 1. So what is the target 1? 100 GB disk. 100 GB disk is given to S1. So this is how iSCSI complete cycle. What is a cycle it is? Okay. And also for a SAN communication, so it is better than fiber channel SAN communications. Easier. It is not a better. It is easier than a fiber channel. So why it is a better easier than a fiber channel? Because we use regular IP networks only. Okay. Easy to create and assign iSCSI targets. Okay. So iSCSI transmit iSCSI commands over the IP network. Okay. The components are like a IP network, iSCSI target. Okay. iSCSI targets, iSCSI initiator, iSCSI. So we can see here it is target server initiator. Initiator means client server. Okay. So what is the advantage of these things is network or a diskless boot, server application storage, heterogeneous storage, lab environments, authentications, okay, query initiator, virtual hard disk, scalability and manageability thing is there. I'm not able to speak more. It is anyway vendor neutral kind of stuff, guys. Small thing I want to write about iSCSI. So what is a SCSI? Anyone? iSCSI means Internet SCSI. It means the SCSI, dedicated SCSI, we can able to access through network. Okay, SCSI disk. Okay, the SCSI storage or a disk can access through network. So using iSCSI. iSCSI is also one network access protocol. iSCSI. Okay. So here is the name iSCSI target server, iSCSI initiator. iSCSI initiator is a client. Of course, we use a virtual hard disk. We can assign this to anyone. Here it is. Details, small details are there. You can go through it. Okay. This is the diagram, like a storage server, iSCSI initiator. I'm not getting, so everybody is silent. And here it is a violent. One second. Entire storage part, I didn't show you anything in a practical manner. So I will show you only iSCSI, at least iSCSI in practical, because I done iSCSI thing so many days back. Okay, so I will show you this one. So we need a server, and if you need another one is also either server or a client. Look at this one, guys. First one is we need a target server, so that is our server is there. And for client purpose, you can use a server or a client also. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, this is a server. So if you want, you can put a second one for a client also. You can put a server. Second one is not required to on, but switch on. Guys, do you understand this one or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is iSCSI is not a SAN or not a NAS also. Of course, it is a block level storage. iSCSI is a block level storage. For example, if I cannot able to implement my SAN on my SAN directly, SAN, I can't able to implement SAN with fiber channels. Okay, or maybe for me it is very difficult to manage with different SAN management servers. So I can go with iSCSI. It is very simple. Simply we can create a virtual hard disk and assign to the remote server. Okay. So we create. First of all, we have to install iSCSI kind of stuff. So iSCSI target server we have to install in a role. So go to your server. The server. First of all, in the server. So first of all, you are going to server. Server means target server. So this is the target server. So obviously install role called iSCSI target. Okay, so where this role is located, the location of the server is like a check-in file and storage. Under file and storage, you will get this one. Okay. Storage kind of stuff, you will find this one. So we'll see that one first. Install the role. Alt Control Insert. Yeah. Look at here, guys. This is the server. My server having only one single hard disk. You can add more hard disks, like a SCSI hard disk. You can able to add it if required. If required, I can able to add it. Okay, so that's no problem because it's a SCSI hard swappable. I can add it. 60 GB hard disk is there. Okay. Next, this is my client. The two systems are very slow. So I log in with some user. So it is current user or previous user. I didn't remember. Yeah, your batch only, right? Okay. So the client is also having a only one single hard disk. Client is also having a. I am taking for my client. I took a Windows 10 only because I don't have a other domain can. So I have a single hard disk only. Okay. Next, in a client, in a client. Okay. In a client, we have a single hard disk only there. That's it. Now, my client is required something like a 50 GB or maybe a 20 GB disk is required. So we'll see that one, how to do it. Okay. The first thing anyway, so as I said, we should install role. Okay. So manage. It is taking time. This becomes slow. No one is speaking anything. Okay. So my server name is WinS1, domain name is contessa.com. I'm adding a role. Next, next, next. File and storage services. Expand file and iSCSI. Guys, this is the DFS. Look at here. You have already a server with you. So look at these things also. Read the descriptions. You will understand more. File server resource manager, file server VSS agent, file server iSCSI target server. So I'm going to target server only. Or you can select this one also if you want it. We don't do shadow copy kind of stuff. So like this, iSCSI target server only I'm installing. Okay, I'm not installing second one. Okay, that is enough. If you want to see again, so same thing. See, go to file and storage, expand file and storage, file and iSCSI. iSCSI target server, select. Next. Restart. Click check this one. Install. Okay. I don't know, guys. So I am taking the classes also. Mothers are also taking. And unnecessarily touch the badge. Badges you should not touch. Okay. So yeah, installation completed, successful. Close. Okay. Second one is to open the disk management in here. First of all, disk mgmt.msc. I have a only C drive is there. I want some separate like a 20 GB or 30 GB separation from here. What to do? Shrink volume. Yeah, I have to take my class on my own. That is very easy. I took some 20 GB shrink. Just I want to separate separately. I want to create it. That's why I put a 20 GB. I take a 20 GB as a single volume, so I don't do any other things. Simply 20 GB volume. Just I need another drive, E drive. Okay, I got a E drive. So go to this. This is E drive. This is E drive. Okay. So next one is first role is installed. Now request is like a something like 10 GB disk or 20 GB hard disk. So we'll take it. Okay. So request is like this. Okay. So based on that, first of all, so we have to create target and for 10 GB disk. Okay, dynamically expanding disk. Okay. So we'll see that options later. I'm creating a 10 GB disk. Okay, and assign to Win C1. Okay, we are assigning to Win C1. So we'll create a target. Target name is target1, and size is 10 GB. We are assigning to. Yes, so that's what we are doing it now. So at server, go to file and storage. Here you can click file and storage. You'll get a lot of options here. Click on iSCSI. Now to create an iSCSI virtual disk, start the new iSCSI virtual disk wizard. Okay. iSCSI virtual disk we create in our storage. Guys, we don't have any separate storage here in a practically, so we're not doing that. So where this is the wizard is started, I'm selecting E drive. In the E drive only I want to store it. Okay, so this is the E drive. I got some problem here. Yeah, this is easy. Okay, E drive. Next, you have to give the name of the virtual hard disk. Name of the virtual hard disk. Okay, so I put a WinC1's disk. Okay, so this is the location where this disk is stores. This is what disk for WinC1. Some description you can put it. Some name. It is also a virtual hard disk only. Virtual hard disk in a your physical location. So that is a thing. Okay, just a name only. Next. Now you have a free space of 20 GB. How much size you want to create? You can create fixed disk, dynamic disk, referencing disk. Okay, so if you go to the fixed disk, it means you cannot create more than 20 GB. If you go to dynamically expanding, you can create how much size you want it. Also, you can create. Okay, but I'm creating 10 GB only. I'm not creating more. 10 GB iSCSI disk. I'm creating just for understanding only. Okay, dynamically expanding 10 GB disk. Now, initially there is no targets are created. So new iSCSI target. New iSCSI target. Give the target name. Target C1. So I put a target C1. This is target for WinC1. Okay, so I put a target name is target C1. Now click add to specify iSCSI initiators that will access iSCSI virtual hard disk. So who can able to access? I can able to put who can able to access this particular iSCSI virtual disk. Click add. Tell them who can able to access using query initiator computer ID kind of stuff. Enter the value for type IQN number. Like what is the IQN number? So you can go to this iSCSI initiator. You can see this is the iSCSI initiator. Open iSCSI initiator. We are in a domain, right? So compulsory iSCSI service is not running. So yes. So this is the iSCSI initiator. So go to configuration. So this is your initiator name. This is your initiator name. You can give this name to the server here, IQN, and you can give that name. Or otherwise, you can give MAC address of C1. You can give MAC address of C1, or you can give IP address of C1, or you can give DNS name of the C1, or IQN name of the C1. So I'm giving DNS name. So because of we are in a Windows server, DNS kind of stuff is there. WinC1 is my computer name. Yeah, it is there. See, so FQDN came up. So winc1.contoso.com, or you can give the IP address of client also. So I given a name like this. You can able to add how many number of users can able to access this particular storage. Also, we can do it. Guys, next one is authentication and authorization of accessing disk. If you want it, you can able to choose any of the one. Enable chat, enable reverse chat, like that kind of stuff. Challenge handshaking, authentication protocol. No, I don't want to give any specific authentication. We are already in a domain Active Directory environment, so compulsory. So we are we got already authentication. Okay, so this is the remaining confirmation details. Create. So it is created. iSCSI virtual hard disk is created, and target is created, and access related things also done. Now iSCSI disk is created. See, this is the disk, and also you can see this is the target name. See, target name is target C1. Server name is WinS1, my server name. Okay, so this is the target IQN number. Target IQN number. Okay, so this is the WinC1 hard disk. Like you can see, look at here. 10 GB disk. Initiator ID is winc1.contoso.com. Not yet connected. So we're going to connect, guys. So this is we created iSCSI. Now we will go to the client. We'll go to the client. Okay, my server is WinS1. My client is WinC1. So open iSCSI initiator. Okay, sometimes iSCSI initiator service is not on, so no problem. Just you have to restart automatically. Okay, you can turn on by going to services. Okay, go to iSCSI initiator. So this is the client. Open your iSCSI initiator. Again, I'm opening for you. This is iSCSI initiator. You can do like a run as administrator or iSCSI initiator directly. Before going to that one, guys, I'm going to show you disk. No, not like this. Not like this. Okay, disk mgmt.msc run as administrator. Run as administrator because we are in a domain client environment, right? Okay, so this is the disk 0. Another one is CD-ROM. Guys, can you able to look at right? Disk 0, CD-ROM. So what I'm going to do is I have one single hard disk. Now look at here. I can, sir, guys, this is also explains block level storage. So iSCSI initiator. Okay, so this is our target. So you can give your target server name or a target name also. I'm giving my target server name wins1.contoso.com. So request is going to my server. My server search for a who is requesting by name or IP address or MAC address. Who is requesting? So based on that, it will connect. So quick connect. So automatically when I click on a quick connect, it is showing the target name. See, WinS1 target C1 target. That is my target. Okay. So like this, done. It is connected. It is connected. I'm closing this one. Now we'll open this one. See, it is 10 GB is added. Earlier it is not there. Now it is came. Okay. Now it is came. So you can initialize because first time it is fresh hard disk, right? So you have to initialize it. Okay, you can create a volume. Okay, or you can create a partitions if you want it. Any name we can put it, no problem. Just for fun, I put a name. Okay, this is a Z drive. See, this is my client PC. So 10 GB disk. You can see in my Windows 10. Okay, I have a extra 10 GB hard disk, which is I didn't connect it. This 10 GB hard disk, I didn't connect it to my machine directly. Physically, I didn't connect this disk. Okay, but where it is located here only, it is showing still not connected. Just refresh, you get a not connected to connected also. iSCSI initiator, the target, give target server name or a IP address. Okay, so now then check it. Go to disk management. Okay, I have to do remaining things. Okay, showing connected. Okay, so this is the iSCSI target. It is mounted finally. So I will show you once again. So guys, this is my WinC1 machine. I have a 60 GB, only one single hard disk is connected. But here it is showing a 60 GB hard disk and as well as 10 GB hard disk. From where I got this hard disk directly? I got the hard disk from my WinS1 only. How I got it? I created a iSCSI virtual hard disk and I put it to the iSCSI target and I told who can able to access. So when I do requesting, when I request from like this, I go to iSCSI initiator from C1, I put iSCSI target server. So target server received a request and understand who is requesting and which target is assigned for the requester, it is given to us. So this is came here. You can connect and disconnect. If you disconnect it also, you can if you disconnect it, this will be gone. So you can see, look at here, I disconnect it. It is become inactive. If you look at this, this is inactive. Look at here, 0, disk 0. Where is disk 1? It is gone. The drive is also gone. Okay, if I connect it, connected. While you are connecting, make sure that you are connected in a read and write manner. So disk is came. See, disk 0, disk 1, Z drive. You can see the Z drive is appear again. It means this is your iSCSI. Guys, again, once more, one small thing I will tell. That's it. Yeah, something data is there. I will take this data. I am trying to copy in this Z drive. It's a very small data only, so no problem. It won't take much time. Okay, like this. This is data is copied into the Z drive. The question is, guys, I put a data in the Z drive, and where this data stores? Where this data store? Original location in the WinC1 or WinS1, where this data is stores. WinC1 or WinS1.
WinS1.
Very good. So it is the disk is look like attached to your physical disk, physical machine, like to machine. It is attached as a locally to your machine, and it is data is whenever you put a data, the data is like it is storing in your local PC only. In originally, the data stores in Win S1 in the this particular virtual hard disk, like in this particular location. In here, data is there. Currently, it is mounted to somewhere, so we cannot connect and see. But this is in this list. Actually, this data is stores in this disk only. Okay, so this is about your iSCSI, guys. iSCSI means Internet SCSI. iSCSI means Internet SCSI. Okay, so we can use iSCSI for SAN configuration. iSCSI is also a block level storage. You can create a LUNs or a targets. Okay, you can create a targets or LUNs, and we can assign to the clients. Okay, when client is initiate iSCSI to the target server, the target server verify the client's identity by name or IP address or username and passwords, and it will give this assigned disk to the client. So that is your iSCSI. And lot of benefits are there. Um, diskless booting is possible. Diskless booting to the servers through network booting and storing the data into the different locations and are important. Lot of people think, even the last batch also questioned me, that is, so why I'm telling all these things, guys. Remember, block level storage. You learn cloud, right? So block level storage. If you go to AWS, EBS, Elastic Block Storage, S3 bucket. S3 bucket is object. Okay, S3 bucket is an example for object level storage. Object level storage. Okay. So file level storage, same thing. File level, like a sharing file systems. Also S3 bucket is also comes under file level storage, object level storage, file level storage. Okay. Elastic block level storage, guys. That's why I keep telling these things. Maybe you may not go to the direct infrastructure management, but the terminologies are very important to understand how it is works. Okay, so this is about your iSCSI. That's it. If you have any doubts, please tell me. Okay, I'm stop recording and take a break.